If you've lived in Boise for more than a few years, you've felt the shift. What started as unease has grown into anxiety, a sense that while the city is getting bigger, it is also becoming thinner. We talk about this in the language of growth and spreadsheets, but the numbers don't capture the actual experience of living here. We see new buildings going up that look like they could be anywhere, and we feel the pressure of traffic on roads that were never meant to carry this much energy. Most of us describe this as a crisis of culture or a loss of small-town feel, but the root of the problem is actually physical. The environments we are building are failing our biology. Think about how life actually navigates the world. For as long as there has been life, organisms have survived by orienting themselves to things that stay still. Whether it's a bird following the horizon or a squirrel anchored to its nest, we all have a biological need for a center, a fixed point that tells our nervous system we are safe and in the right place. For us in Boise, those anchors have always been the mountains that hold the valley and the landmarks that define our history. But when our daily surroundings become a maze of anonymous glass boxes and centerless sprawl, that internal compass stops working. We aren't just losing our favorite views, we are becoming fundamentally disoriented. We are currently trying to build deep, lasting communities in neighborhoods designed for through traffic rather than human encounters. We seek rest in homes with walls so thin we can hear the footsteps of strangers, and we look for connection in public squares that don't exist. Instead, we are left with wide, high-speed arterials that divide our city, leaving us overstimulated and unmoored. This is a design flaw and a violation of our need for sanctuary. Space shapes spirit. We participate in the geometry of our streets. When the physical world is disorganized, it summons that same chaos into our inner lives. Boise Rising proposes a different path, one based on a project of structural refounding. We believe renewal begins with the Civic Container, the idea that every space we build, from a neighborhood block to a downtown plaza, should serve as a protective environment for the human spirit. This means designing for permanence and dignity rather than short-term extraction. It means creating thresholds, the porch, the garden gate, the entrance to a market hall that act as selective membranes. These boundaries regulate the raw noise of the city, protecting the stability we need to think, to relate, and to build. But buildings alone are only the hardware. A city that truly flourishes requires 3 sacred foundations working in total alignment. First is place. This is the discipline of building a center, turning a house or a street into an anchored world where we can stop drifting and finally stand on solid ground. Second is story. This is our shared map of time. It is the narrative of who we are, what we owe the past, and what we are responsible for carrying into the future. And third is ritual. These are the shared practices of stewardship, the ways we govern, exchange, and care for our city so it can be handed down intact to the next generation. Boise can be more than a great place to live. It can become a proving ground. We have the scale, the character, and the pioneering spirit to build a world that actually calls us upward. This is an invitation to reimagine every inch of our shared life, the plazas where we gather, the parks that restore our spirits, the workspaces where we innovate, and the streets that connect us. We are calling for the builders, the healers, the visionaries, and the stewards who are ready to take responsibility for the legacy we leave behind. Rather than react to a broken system, we are here to set a standard that the rest of the world can follow, to build a city that reflects the very best of who we can become, a place where excellence is the baseline and beauty is our common language. This is Boise Rising. We are rebuilding meaning by rebuilding place, and we invite you to rise with us.